Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time. Where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Ready or Not.
Here we come.
Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be bloopers at the end of this, but we're on an incline and the phone, we kept trying to start this video. That's what she was referring to. Anyways, so this is going to be our no spoiler review. We will have a spoiler review. It'll be out tomorrow. If you want to hear us talk about all the details that we loved or did not love about this movie, whatever. But first and foremost, I got married to go to a horror movie.
I don't really feel it's a horror movie.
Which we'll get into. We'll get into that. But let me just go ahead and say, spoiler video will be out tomorrow, but you got no spoilers here. So if you're worried about twists, turns, or the other, we'll cut anything out if we accidentally say it, but you should be all good to go. And again, we don't consider ourselves movie reviewers. We're just people that love movies and love to talk about and geek out about them when we can. And this was a drinking movie, so...
it's a drinking movie for him.
We had a drink at dinner. You had the far superior tasting drink, by the way. I'm about to pull your superpower of derailment. It was a watermelon martini. All right, so initial thoughts before we get into wasn't a horror. Initial thoughts. What'd you think?
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I did too. I had a couple of big issues, which we'll specifically talk about in spoilers. But again, I wouldn't say big issues. One of them was addressed in the film, so I'm like, okay. And the other is, it's one of those horror films where it's a what would you do kind of horror film. Like if you've been watching horror forever like me, it's that you're in a situation, it's like, how would I react in that situation? What would I do? What do I think? And I saw a couple of things. One thing in particular in this movie that just drove me nuts, because I was like, really? But other than that, it's really fun. There's some great gags in here. The trailers, I was kind of right. The trailers do give away a lot of the best gags.
Yeah.
Which again, I won't talk about here in case you haven't seen it, but there's still plenty of gags that aren't in the trailers, so I'll give them that. The ending is fantastic. Love the ending. And again, for the most part, when I say I like the characters, it doesn't mean I liked the characters. I like the portrayal of the characters. You know, I thought everybody there was really solid. You know, again, great pace. You know, nice and short. Our lead, Samara... Weaving, yes, yeah.
Look at me getting a name.
Yeah, well, we got it together. Who I loved in Mayhem, which is another great horror film you should go check out. It's kind of a slightly lesser version of the Belko Experiment. Similar vein, it'd be a good double feature. She was great in this, but I swear, I kept telling Mary, she's a live-action anime version of Margot Robbie. Because she looks almost identical to Margot Robbie, but her eyes are like twice as big. And that's not a negative. I'm not picking on her or anything. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman and a fantastic actor. But I was like, that's kind of crazy.
There were a couple of scenes where I'm sitting here going like, it's like Bella Angel Alita. They're so big.
Her eyes are so big and expressive. Yeah. Gore is top notch. There's tons of great jokes in here. Tons of great jokes. Like some dark humor, some obvious humor, you know, right out there. The kills are fun. They're violent. There's a couple that are very violent. You had to cover your eyes a few times.
Well, actually, here's the thing.
Not as much as I thought she would have had to, though. But
actually, there's only one kill that really had me going, because it was a long, drawn-out one.
I can think of two moments where you definitely, but of course we won't talk about it here, at least two moments that you had like a real like, oh.
Well, one of them was not a kill, though. That's
true. Okay, so then I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. There's some body horror in this, not Cronenberg style body horror, but you know, like shredding of body kind of stuff. Actually, there's a few moments I can think of. Yeah.
Anywho, but here's the thing. To me, it didn't feel like a horror movie. There was suspense, there was gore, but all in all, it was more of a farce.
Yeah, and again, I have a more broad categorization of horror. That fits under the horror banner for me. It's a specific type of horror. You know, it is more realistic murder horror. It's not like, you know, a killer slicing people up intentionally or, I'm going to flay you, or Freddy slashing through you, that kind of stuff. But I mean, it is horror because it's a horrible situation.
Yes.
If you were in this admittedly ridiculous situation, it would be horrifying. And again, that's why I say it falls into that category of what would you do? And actually her, other than one or two moments, I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, they did hit a couple of horror final girl cliches in here that in 2019 shouldn't still be happening. Because there's definitely...
You're going to have to explain that one to me, so...
I will. There's a couple of moments that are very much Randy and Scream, me being Randy and Scream, wanting to jump up in the middle of the theater like, what the fuck are you doing? Have you never seen a horror film? I had a moment or two of that. But again, not in a way to make me dislike this movie. If you have any interest in this, the trailers look good at all to you, go see it. It is a great fucking time.
Yeah.
And again, briskly paced, all that kind of stuff. I'm now getting into the critiques as like a lifelong horror fan. And you guys don't get to see me review horror that much because, you know, she doesn't really do horror that much. And again, I'm glad you were able to handle this, and I quite appreciate it because that was fun.
I said, I still don't feel like
But it's people murdering people.
That's almost every television show.
That's true. I didn't explain that correctly because that could be action films or whatever. But I mean, it's people hunting people. That's a horrific idea.
Yeah.
And it was portrayed, maybe not entirely with a horror vibe, but it had kind of a gothic setting and trapping. They really played up the violence and the gore, particularly. It's a wet movie. It's very.
It's not a chunky movie.
Not a what? Not which I can't talk about, but that's something I actually said about something. We'll talk about that in spoilers. I wish it was chunkier.
I'm like, nope, I'm good the way it was.
And I'm like, but I've been watching Preacher. I wish it was chunkier. But no, I mean, all that.
And the thing is, and I mean, it in some ways it was kind of reminiscent of Evil Dead.
I could see that. There are elements of that.
Like, over the top with the comedy.
Yeah.
Just no deadites.
Right. Well, yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't have that, like, total sarcastic, torturous humor that a Sam Raimi would put in there. But it has those moments. It has some of those self-aware moments of, like, characters realizing the ridiculously of the situations they're in and playing to that. And I appreciate that. And there are some characters in here that I'm surprised I cared for as much as I did. Where, like, okay, the main girl, yeah, she's great. All right. Like, she's great. She's what she should be in a movie like this. You care for her. You're rooting for her. Even though she does one or two things, you're like, ugh. But then you can immediately justify in your head, like, listen, if this wasn't Monday morning quarterbacking from a movie screen about what would I do, then I get her making those decisions, as wrong as I may think they are. In the heat of the moment, you're panicked, you're not seeing everything, whatever. Okay. But no, I get that. So she was great. One of the other characters you're supposed to feel sympathetic for, I couldn't, and this is one of the things they did address in the film. But I'm like, still, I think I was supposed to care more about that than I could, but I picked up on this thing that bugged me from the get-go with it.
I agree to a certain degree, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah,
because it had a very strong feeling of it would play out.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I was concerned it wouldn't, though, because I also had this issue. If you saw my trailer reaction, and I'm glad they did address certain things, but yeah. So, but then some of the other family members and stuff, and I like that there was almost kind of a mystery. In a way, it was actually unfolding a mystery. Like, if you've seen the trailers, you know there's like this element of why things are happening. And in the movie, it's very much portrayed and leaves you wondering, and they do answer things. Are people crazy, or is things they're saying for real? And it did kind of unravel in a very interesting way with that I appreciated.
I was remembering one of the jokes, it was a Google search.
Oh, yeah. And then there's some stuff like that, which is actually a good thing to bring up, because characters like that, like that character's stuff was hilarious, but it didn't feel, it felt like he was almost there to just be the jokes. Because he didn't quite feel as weaved in as a lot of other characters, which might also kind of be part of the joke they were doing. Well, he was one of the people Careful. Just
can I tell the relationship status?
I know how you can be. I was being extra. I was just reminding you. Just a friendly reminder, we're not in spoilers. Don't make me edit.
I'm just saying that I think part of that was that he married into the family.
Yeah. Well, you did just make it a lot more specific than I wanted, but it's not quite spoilery.
That's the family status!
I know.
You just said...
I said the character didn't. Maybe I didn't. You know what? I'm going to shut up because I'm probably wrong. I'll watch this back and be like, Eric, you're an idiot. I do that a lot, just so y'all know. You're not the only ones that think I'm an idiot.
See, this is why I don't like the non-spoilers, because I just don't want to talk during them.
Well, that's also because I'm more skilled at tiptoeing around, not revealing details. It's more difficult for you, I think. But then again, I talk a lot more than you do. Yeah, I talk a lot more than you do, no doubting that. But yeah, so really good time. Really enjoyed it. Nice tight an hour and 35 minutes. Nothing in the credits, in case you're wondering. Like, I did have a drink, and like, oh my god, I needed to pee, so I had to run. I was like, I'm coming back though, in case anything happens.
They're very short credits too. Because,
I got back. I had like 30 seconds.
It doesn't have like thousands of visual effects people working on it.
True, yeah, that's right. I'm sure there's a few visual effects in here, but not as many as like a Marvel film or something. Mm-hmm. Not gonna open that rabbit hole, but I will say I'm on, not that... Damn it, Sony. What are you doing? It's been apparent for a while you're planning this whole Spider-Man thing like it's going to be your next Mickey Mouse. He's not, because y'all don't know what you're doing. Not just in Spider-Man. Have you seen the movies y'all been making lately? Anyways, so...
Venom did well.
Yeah, but everybody agrees it's because, you know, Tom Hardy was great Venom, but the movie he was in was not good. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but that's what they're thinking.
Men in Black. What? Anyways... Wasn't trying to go down too much that rabbit hole. I just wanted to throw that out in a video for some of y'all to check out. But that's our no spoilers thoughts. You got anything else no spoilery?
No, can we just go spoilers?
We're going to go to spoilers. Okay. But y'all are going to tell us if you're going to see this or whatever. If you stay out of the comments because people might be spoiling down there because it happens accidentally and stuff sometimes. But yeah, you know, but otherwise you can let us know if you're excited, you agree, you disagree. But let's not do the spoilers in these comments. Wait till the video for the spoilers video. And then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about and let us know. Other than that, you can click the thumbs up button. Give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as I do love to be encouraged. We love to be encouraged. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to get out of here so we can go watch some more stuff. And we'll see you all later. Here we go. Oh, fuck.
Forgot about this part.
Yeah. Come on. Oh, that's right. It doesn't auto orient. Let's try that again. I may have to do that as a blooper. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody! Shit!
Our monitor keeps falling off the dashboard.
Yeah, it's definitely a blooper.
You want me to get my suction cup thingy?
No, it should be fine. Hit more to the side.
Okay.
All right, let's try that.